Hi everyone, I'm Meteorologist Rusty McCranie, and welcome to Weather Express. Your weather in 5 minutes. Start the clock. Friends, we have a developing area of low pressure in the northwest Gulf of Mexico and a Pacific storm which is going to bring some active weather to portions of the United States and some bitterly cold air elsewhere. You can see temperatures today through the Midwest and the plains really struggling to get out of the 20s for daytime highs. We'll start off in the Northeast. Not a bad afternoon across most areas. A little bit of lower clouds here on the enhanced satellite imagery through portions of the Ohio Valley, western sides of New York. Can't rule out a quick burst of snow for the UP of Michigan, but generally speaking, these are just some lower clouds. Temperatures teens and 20s today. You get to New York City, not a bad afternoon with a daytime high here in the upper 30s. It has been colder today in the southeast. A lot of sunshine, a little bit of cloud coverage coming back in, but that north wind has brought the daytime high in Jacksonville all the way down to 48 degrees. Now, as I've already mentioned, we have a developing area of low pressure here in the northwest side of the Gulf of Mexico. I'll show you the radar out of this area. Already some rain down into South Texas. This is going to be a slow system to develop and kind of emerge, but once it does so, more rain along coastal sections, but the possibility in the central sides of Texas to actually get a little bit of ice because we still have some colder air plunging down. Yes, temperatures are moderating. It's not as cold as what it was earlier in the week. Again, teens and 20s out there. The biggest improvement has actually been what the feels like temperatures are, or the wind chill values, which earlier this week were, yes, and this is true, 40, 50, and even 60 degrees below zero. Now they're back above zero in a lot of spots. Still portions of the western Great Lakes and the northern plains are colder than that, and it's still frightfully cold, but sadly, this is improving, and we'll talk about how this warmth is actually going to cause a problem in some areas here because of the fast warm-up. Here's our Pacific storm. Right now, it's slamming on the coastlines of Washington and Oregon. This is mainly going to be a coastal storm system. There will be some mountain snow for the Olympic and the northern Cascade ranges, but really the story is going to be about the rain and the elevated sea conditions. So rain for Seattle, Olympia, back down towards Portland, Oregon. And again, I do expect this to continue to provide some relatively wet conditions there. And when you look at these advisories, all of these offshore are gale warnings. And they are going to be for winds of up to around 45 miles an hour in some spots, and some seas, as you can see, 13 to 18 feet. Some exceptionally rough conditions off the coastline there of Washington State. Now, I mentioned the problems. All of the greens that you see are flood watches or hydraulic outlooks. The problem is this area of the country has had a ton of snow lately, and now it's warming up in a big way in a short amount of time. Now you have the problem with melting snow and flooding. So a lot of flood issues, and including avalanche problems. So for a lot of the Utah mountain ranges like the Wasatch and the Big Bear Range, they've got avalanche advisories for this fast warm up. Could be some big time problems there. I expect the cold weather to continue in the southeast. We do have a couple of freeze warnings for the southeast sides of Georgia. Let's get into the weather story here over the next couple of days. I'm going to bring up the HRRR model. That's the high resolution rapid refresh. And again, if you like this content, thank you for considering to subscribe to Weather Express. So this storm system gets wrapped up over the weekend here in the portions of the northwest side of the Gulf of Mexico. Showers, a few isolated rumbles of thunder. Really going to pick up eastern sides of Texas, coastal Louisiana. And again, on the far northern side of this, we could have a little bit in the way of enough cold air. You see that red down towards Waco and Austin for a little bit in the way of some ice accumulation. Now, there's not going to be a big chance for these systems to cause any severe weather. You can see that as I'm going through, this is just a generalized risk for storms, no even marginal risk from the Storm Prediction Center, and the same thing for tomorrow as well. So these will be generalized showers and storms more than anything. Back to the HRRR model, and we'll go to the Pacific Northwest, where again, here comes our storm system slamming on. Now, the rain will get as far south as northern sides of California, but not as significant as the last couple of Pacific and coastal storms. And again, this will pull back into the Intermountain West. And again, portions of the Wasatch Mountains, Big Sky Country, will get a mix of rain and snow. It's all very dependent on elevation. I'm expecting some fast-moving lake effect storms to come through, but relatively speaking, it's quieter in the Northeast than what it has been. When you look at the snow accumulation map over the next several days. Again, higher snow totals here, very light amounts here into portions of the New England and the Pacific Northwest. We'll have minor snow accumulations in most areas. It's warming up in a hurry. The 6 to 10 day temperature outlook All of the warmer weather is now in the plains and out west. That's why we have the snow melt issues. All of the colder air is out to the east, although there's a lot in the way of drier air, very little moisture content. So even though we have colder weather out east, we have pockets of drier air, portions of New England, Florida, Texas. Those are the areas that I expect to be the wettest over the next 10 days. Friends, as you can see from the clock, I'm out of time. If you want to do me a quick payback, thank you for liking this video. And if you haven't subscribed to Weather Express, please click that button right now if you want these daily 5-day forecasts. Love to hear from you guys in the comments section below. Let me know where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with your latest 5-minute forecast.